Yeah. We locked in. We back. We back. I would like to welcome you all out to the interpretation, hosted by Giz Money. You already know what it is. Man, I want to really thank everybody for really liking, subscribing, the feedback, the conversations we're having on pushing the content. Man, I thank you. I honestly really thank y'all a lot because y'all been giving me a great insight on just dealing with content and how to push it and the things y'all want to talk about. And I say that because I had a friend call me up recently, this morning, and was telling me I need to talk about some things. And I ain't gonna lie, I was running from a conversation. I kind of didn't really want to talk about it, but since we're here, it's the hot topic of the day. It's the biggest topic of the day. Groundbreaking topic. One of my favorite rappers. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to even, because you know what I realize is when you have favoritism towards somebody, you hate to hear the worst about him. I'm not saying he's innocent, guilty, what? We talking about the one and only Jay-Z. All right, so we're going to lean into this. So my homeboy called me earlier today and was telling me, like, yo, Giz, lean into the story. You need to talk about the story in particular about Jay with the girl. I kind of didn't really want to talk about it because my personal feelings towards it, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm a realist, and I'm going to give you my personal take. I think this is a personal shakedown. I originally said that with Diddy, and I ate my words, and I had to take that, I had to take that. I'm like, maybe it wasn't a shakedown, maybe it was more, but this in particular seems like a shakedown. It just seemed like when it comes to the court of public opinion. The court of public opinion will have you guilty before you even get in front of a jury of your peers. Now listen to what I'm saying. The court of public opinion will have you convicted already. And you got to think about this. These are mega stars. In particular, we're talking about, let me stick on topic. We're talking about Jay-Z in particular. It's just that crazy to me. Like, and it's a lot of things we can go into this with. And matter of fact, it's some things we can touch on because when I was growing up, going to school, it was guys that I went to school with when I was young. Not even went to school at 14 years old. The girls I was going to school was sleeping with grown men. These guys 19, 20, 21, 22. So for me, that's a touchy situation because you know what? I never been that type of person. So I can't, I seen it because the girls I was going to school wouldn't even talk to us because they wanted the older guys. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. And that's just a touchy situation. And I just hope that that's not true. And oh man, it's crazy. It's hard. Like I really want to go into it, but I can't really go into something I have no information on. We don't know the details. I just know that grown men have been grooming young women, and grown women do groom young men. It's a vice versa. I just don't want to point out one particular group because we're not here for that to point fingers. So. But yeah, that's just crazy, man. It's so crazy. It's like it's really hard for me to even really give a great, just to give a great talking point on it because it's crazy because I'm biased in a situation. And matter of fact, I'm gonna leave it on that note. I'm biased. I'm just gonna say it like that. Put it like that. I'm biased because it's my favorite rapper. But over the years, he's been doing some. I even gotta say that he's still my favorite rapper. Sometimes I just feel like you just don't need to meet your idols. Put it like that. I think I wasted too much time on this topic. I'll never do this again. I hate hip hop takes. I really do. I really hate hip hop takes. Man. But we gonna segue into something else. But all right. So now look. All right. So we gonna talk about this TikTok ban, and the reason why I really want to get into this TikTok ban because it really impacts me. It impacts me. Because I do a lot of my work on TikTok. Like, I have my biggest audience there. My biggest followers are there. So, for me, TikTok is very important. That affects my household because I garner money from there. I get samples from there. I promote products from there. So, TikTok, for me, is very special. So, I'm like, don't ban it. So, right now, Trump is getting in office. He says he's not going to ban it because you got to think about it. That helps him win the election because the TikTok ban that takes away our freedom of speech. And if we lose our freedom of speech, that means you take away our voices. Well, we gonna put out all our voices on Instagram. Instagram don't pay out. Instagram is not, Instagram is more just a popularity contest. You know what I'm saying? So now when you're dealing with TikTok, it's not about popularity. It's about you putting out a product that people like and they engage with. And that's why the TikTok ban will be bad for America. My thing is, I understand why they're trying to do it. I understand. Like, honestly, I understand it. I really do. I understand it. Because they feel like it's a threat to America. It's a threat. Because the information that will be put on TikTok goes out into the world. What people fail to understand is the algorithm we have with TikTok in America is not the same algorithm they get in China. Like China, you're not gonna get certain information. Like prime example, you get on TikTok, there's almost like black Twitter, black TikTok. So you go on black TikTok, you have black people on there doing black things. People hating on each other, disrespecting each other, no camaraderie, things of that nature. And I'm not shitting on black TikTok. Sometimes I just don't like to be in that algorithm. Sometimes the algorithm is kind of real freaky. And not freaky like in a nasty way, but just like it's weird of the energy it gives. So back to the point I'm saying about the energy with the information with TikTok that goes out into the world, they are fearful about it because basically America spills all their information onto TikTok from stories. So if you think about it, if you had the computer algorithm of TikTok and you just gather all the information from everybody in America that's giving it to, you could kind of come up with a whole game plan on how to ruin America. That's how the government is looking at it. It's a threat to, it's a threat to security, which makes sense. And then they feel like it's owned by a Chinese entity, which the guy is not. He's an American citizen that resides in Singapore. I don't really remember his name exactly, but when I do, I'll double back in the comments and I'll make sure I have his name just so I can make make y'all aware of what's actually happening. So yeah, the TikTok ban, I'm not really looking. I really hope they can keep pushing it back because I do a lot of work on there and it just wouldn't be. I just don't like the fact that why do you have to take away our control? Why can't we just be able to speak freely? But who am I? I'm just another podcaster, just another guy on the internet talking to his camera and his microphone. Pause. That's it. So, yeah. So, there's another thing I want to talk about. Something that came across my desk recently. This one really surprised me. Let me tell you, Monopoly, the game Monopoly, the game we all love. We all love to play Monopoly. I actually played Monopoly with somebody and finished the game. That was the first time ever in my life I ever finished the game of Monopoly. And I will give him a big shout out. My friend T, met him through one of my friends, my boy Smooth. This nigga actually won a whole game of Monopoly. And I actually played and lost, and that was wild crazy. I never finished the game, but I know that's here or there. But let's get back to what I was saying. Yeah, so basically, there was a study found out that the game of Monopoly was made at a certain point in time in history. So they said on the board, Baltic Ave and all those other avenues that was cheap, they said those was the slums of the black people at that time. Baltic Ave, and I forgot the other one because I don't have the Monopoly board here from what you see. But I thought that was pretty amazing. But then you think about it, Broadwell. What's the most expensive? Park Place and Broadwell, till this day, are still the most expensive places to be. Think about that. So I'll tell you this. American history is wild crazy that we come to find out Monopoly's racist. Monopoly, racist. Oh, that's crazy. I'll tell you the things you learn. My biggest thing is I love to learn. My biggest thing is it's not getting information. That what scares me the most. If I can't get information, if I can't get the proper information, what's the point? Like real talk, what's the point if I can't get the proper information? What's really the point of this situation and what we're trying to do here? So I don't know. So another thing, I want to talk about this Black Lives Matter thing that happened in New York recently with the Daniel Penna. I know we all heard the story. And I'm not going to really get too in-depth in details because I'm not as familiar with the case. What I know of the case is that I guess this guy came on the train. and the young black man was being very hostile, and he had got subdued and killed. How I feel about that is, this is a tough one because he can be considered a hero, and then he can be considered a murderer, a manslaughter. He can be considered a murderer. Because now, what if somebody actually really felt that threatened that this man was going to hurt them, and then this guy comes out and subdues him? You see what I'm saying? And I'm just I'm being a devil's advocate right now. So bear with me. Don't take my head off in the comments. So I'm being devil's advocate. So boom. You can look at it from that way. Like, oh, he can be a hero. He can be considered a hero because he saved somebody's life. But then on the other hand, who are you to go out their way to try to save somebody? That's it. Then you kill them. And you are a Marine, so that means you was trained to execute these moves at a higher level than the average civilian that's walking the streets. Can we make that clear? So, me personally, and I'm gonna get y'all to the Black Lives Matter thing, but I'm gonna talk about what gets me personally is he still should have to be suffer some consequences for those. At some point, he should have to suffer some consequences. He shouldn't just be walking away scot free. That's crazy to me. If he's just walking away scot free, it's just mind boggling. All right. Reverse that. If it was a black man that did that, you already know he's in jail. If and buts about it. Even the Democratic liberals up there would have sent him to jail. That's just how they are. Whatever. All right, so now what I don't like about is the Black Lives Matter. They make it as seem if this guy went out hunting for a black man to kill. No, it was a situation. This was very situational. And this is what bothers me with Black Lives Matter. Stop popping up at the situations. Why y'all don't pop up in these neighborhoods where these young men are killing each other all the time? Y'all don't step in that. But as soon as something like this happens, y'all always, I call them the ambulance chasers. It makes me sick. I'm like, if we're going to start with injustice, can we start looking within ourselves and start making things better? You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't going to hold y'all up, man. I really want to thank y'all for tuning into this episode. You already know what it is. You know what it ain't. It's your boy Giz Money. Like, subscribe, share, and send it to your peoples.